In this chapter, Brims introduces different theoretical approaches to the use of play in child counseling. We've been talking about play as the primary tool. We've been talking about play as the primary tool in our work with children. Regardless of your theoretical leanings, we know certain things about play that are universal. Play facilitates a child's growth and development. Play is the most natural medium for self-expression. The process of play is important. Play serves a purpose for the child, even if we don't see what the purpose is, and play has several purposes that we'll discuss individually here. First, play serves to help children develop a sense of self. Children thrive whenever they can engage in play activities spontaneously and without fear of negative consequences. Children will develop their own interests through play and will meet basic human needs such as a need for control, expression of emotions, and a need to be engaged with the world around us. Play also serves to promote growth and maturation. Remember watching Luke practicing his dancing? Play serves as a way to practice motor skills, language skills, cognitive skills, and problem-solving skills. Luke was interested in mastering physical skills with his activities. Nate, his older brother, was engaged in board games and card games that required strategy, turn-taking, and memory. He was more interested in cognitive growth. Whenever Nate and Luke were engaged in a similar activity, such as building their Lego kits, both boys were socially engaged in the activity. In addition to working on fine motor skills and following instructions, the boys were working on ways to help each other out and communicate with each other. It was fun to watch them work together and complete their projects. Both Nate and Luke demonstrated pride in their work and in their brother's work. Just as is true of play at home or in school, whenever a child plays in the context of a therapeutic relationship, play can serve certain purposes. The therapeutic relationship is unique for the child in that the child is in control of the play and controls the counselor's involvement in the play. As the child plays, the counselor will gain insight and understanding into how the child moves through the world, and play within the therapeutic relationship can provide opportunities for catharsis and corrective emotional experiences. Counselors who lean towards certain theoretical camps often find specific ways to think about and incorporate play into their work with children. Brims discussed four general schools of thought regarding the therapeutic use of play, and these mirror different theoretical schools of thought that we use with our adult clients too. First, she described the use of play from a psychoanalytic viewpoint. Here, the counselor interprets the child's play, and the hope is that the child will move toward resolving internal conflict between different personality aspects. In this viewpoint, the therapeutic relationship is transferential, meaning that the counselor expects transferences from the child and can use those transferences therapeutically to work towards resolution in the personality structure. Relationship-centered approaches are based on the client-centered approach. Much like the example provided by Gary Landreth during our last class, this approach is non-directive, and the underlying belief is that children are capable of moving towards growth and psychological health. The counselor's job is to listen empathically and reflect back to the child. In this model, the relationship is the most important aspect of therapy. Behaviorists are likely to view play in a very different way from the relationship-oriented counselors. In this format, the counselor role is to dispense reinforcers and punishers and to serve as a model. I know of some recent students that have worked in internships at agencies that provide services to children and families. Many times agencies will have some prescribed methods of intervention. You might have a chance to become more familiar with behavioral techniques if you're planning on working with children and families. Finally, Brims discussed a model in which play can be structured or free, depending upon the needs of the child. In the release and structure theories, catharsis is the main goal. The counselor doesn't offer interpretations as she did in the psychoanalytic model, and the relationship is less important than it was in the relationship theories. Introducing structured play scenes will allow for emotional catharsis. As counselors, one of our most important personal characteristics is flexibility. As you think about implementing different strategies in your work with children, meet the child where she is. Adjust your strategies to the child. Don't expect or require the child to adjust to you. Brims offered some important reminders here for us. So that's it for this week's lectures. Next week in class, we're going to continue our work with Jack. We'll go shopping for supplies to support our work, and we'll start to explore some of the underlying messages that we might hear from Jack during our sessions with him. Don't forget to complete your discussion question this week and start to think about a topic for your final paper. As always, let me know if you have any questions or concerns. I look forward to seeing you next week.